Hi, good afternoon, early afternoon. I had to get some papers out of my office today for an argument I have next Friday, long distance to the Montana court. And so I find that if you get the material inside of yourself, it becomes part of your corpuscular nature, and you can call upon it when you need to. Same's kind of true what we do in this walk and talk. Each day there's an accretion of information or outrage based on what mostly the Orange Menace is doing, that is Trump. I'm not wearing the glasses today because I think my eyes have settled, and we'll see. The headline has to be that we've driven another nail into the political coffin of Mr. Trump. The Supreme Court decided that the Texas case brought by the Attorney General Paxton, who himself is under indictment right now, maybe hoping for a pardon, was frivolous. They don't say it that way. What they said was, reducing it to English instead of cognizable claim, what they said was that one state can't sue another state for the purpose of challenging that other state's election. Not one state nor four states. Now, what's the inside baseball on this? Now, I haven't talked to the law clerks or the judges, so this is how I read it. I think that Chief Justice Roberts, wanted a united court on this. And he probably worked at it. And that's why, of the 5 or 6 issues they could use, of the language they could have used, they got 7 of the justices to agree that they had no standing to bring this case. End of story, end of case. But 2 justices, Alito and Thomas, they had a dissent. It was kind of a funny dissent because what it said was, we think, first of all, you should file the complaint that the parties were making in Texas with all the amici briefs, and then turn it down. Well, see, my suspicious person thinks what they wanted to do was to breathe air into this so that the people would think it was a credible complaint. And Roberts didn't want that to happen. And he may have wanted to say stronger things. But the most dramatic part of it was that he got the 3 justices appointed by Trump to go with him, despite the transparent effort of Trump to choose Barrett to save him in exactly this situation, which he did not do. So that should be a strong statement to a lot of people in America, the political implications of what they did. The legal implication was transparent from the beginning, and the court gave the other states who were named, all battleground states, it gave them an opportunity to file briefs so that there was a hearing of what the public thought. And they did it on an expedited schedule. And the tactical or strategic error that Trump's people made was they thought if they filed something, the delay that had helped them in other cases would help them in this. Now, what do we do with the 126 traitors who supported this fraudulent, frivolous, factually unsupported, legally ridiculous appeal to the Supreme Court? I really think they should surrender their office because they have failed to meet their oath of office, which was to uphold and protect the Constitution and to follow the laws of the land. And every one of them should be punished in the here and now and in the future. And since they're in the House, it presents a very difficult question for Speaker Pelosi. But something has to be done. And we have to continue to pound these people because what they did is just wrong. When you consider, on top of that, that Trump went out screaming last night about how they lacked the courage to what? Uphold a frivolous case in the face of 50 other cases that have been thrown out in various courts across the country. Some of them have been withdrawn, that they can't identify witnesses that prove their case. This is the real scary thing about America. This man has to be investigated when he leaves office, and including how he conducted this election. Occam's razor said between several alternative explanations, the simplest one is usually the right one, and the right one here is it was a frivolous case and Trump lost the election. Now, this is a time of year when we're sensitive to how people are suffering, I suppose. We should be. And because I had to go pick up things at my office, I was sitting in a parking lot for a little bit, gathering things. And I saw a person, I believe it was a man, covered in various pieces of cloth to protect him against the weather, standing in a bus station, meaning, one of those enclosures, probably with everything that he owns in his life standing around him. And so I had some funds in my pocket, so I put on my mask as I was about to do anyhow, and I walked over and I offered him those funds. And he was skittish, and he got very nervous, and he walked away from me. So I put the funds I was going to give him, a $20 bill, on top of his material, because I didn't want to, it wasn't my point to make him upset. And yes, it's not enough, but it is a nice gesture, even if it's for a day or several days, what he would do with those funds. And I have always thought that government should open the public buildings in these periods of the year so that a person doesn't have to do what he did. But the other thing I observed from this meeting is that he probably had some mental disability, and I served for a period of time as what's called a special justice, a judge who hears civil commitments. And what I observed was people who were put in custody because they looked like they might be a danger to themselves or others. When they got medication, by the time I saw them within 48 hours after they were admitted, they were okay. And so not having access to the medication in those cases made a difference. And mostly we're talking about people who are schizophrenic, suffering under delusions. Now, the other kind of person that I saw would come in, have a problem, and they would try to medicate them, but it would make no difference at all. Really sad cases. We have a Congress that has the time to fill out petitions attacking our democratic system, betraying their oath of office, undermining what is the promise of America, which is access to government, to manage it in a representational way. They don't have time to pass a bill to help the hungry, the homeless, people who are unemployed, but they have time to do that nonsense, to tear down our government rather than fulfill their mission. It's just totally unacceptable. And they don't even have time to approve the budget for the nation. They put in what's called a continuing resolution, meaning they kick the can down the road rather than actually decide anything. So, where are we going? The reason parts of our society are starting to work is because of Biden and the election and our votes and our support for these people. And we just have to keep the course, because on Monday, the last nail in the coffin goes in. The electoral Congress meets and approves Biden as our president. So I think that's a good thing. So if you can get out today, do. It's beautiful here in Virginia. My weather report. And I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.